What's going on, guys? Jordahl coming back at you with a technical analysis. Here we have Bree Jordahl of Taylor University. Yeah, submitted once again by her coach, Janae. So let's take a look. Same thing, moving. One more time. So just watching this the first time, the start of the throw, and this is once again, this is nitpicking, but I think it contributes to success in the hammer throw. The start of the throw just looks a tad erratic, I suppose. Rushed is another word you could use. Just using a lot of energy. So these swings back and forth with the hammer, sure, get a pendulum feeling. It is what it is. But then if you watch your left foot, Bree, you see it kind of picks up and comes off the ground at a few different points, and you can see even like this hip shifting back, this step back, another step with the left foot, really reaching out to the sector. Another little left foot slide, step up, and then in the winds, another little step, and just some weird right foot shift in there. But overall, like I said, I think the start of the throw is just a bit erratic. In the hammer throw, there's so many moving parts. Obviously, there's yourself, your body, and then the hammer itself, and we can only really control our body movements. We can't really quite control the hammer, at least in the best throws. The hammer does what it wants, and if the hammer gets to do what it wants, then it gets to go far. So I think what you need to do is control your body movements a little bit more, Bree. Be much more stable. So, like I said, there's an erratic nature to this start. A lot of movement that I don't think needs to happen. And so let's say if you can keep your left foot exactly where it is throughout the entirety of your winds and everything and your step up, and you just really stabilize your body movements. Your hips need to be more stable. They need to stay in one spot. So you can see, like I said, they shift back a lot, back and forth, left and right. Feet are moving a lot. And so the more that stuff happens, I think the more inconsistent your feeling for the ball will be. And if your feeling for the ball is not consistent, if you don't have the same feeling every throw, then obviously you're not going to be consistent. You're not going to be able to feel the hammer as well as you quite possibly could. And so that limits your success. So like I said, I think the more stable you can make the start, the simpler you can make it, the less movement that is there, the more efficient your throw will be. And that's just, like I said, that's just from the preliminary swings and the steps and all that stuff. Aside from that, moving on to the actual throw. So like I said, simplify the start of the throw. If you do that, I think that'll help immediately. Try to go easier, like I said. So there's this big preliminary swing. Let's see if we go back. Big preliminary swing up and then back and then forwards again, and it's just going really fast. And you can see there's this. Your hands are close to your body, very tight. All right, you want to make the orbit of the winds similar to the orbit of the throw. So you want the orbit to be big. You want your arms to be stretched out. You want your hands out, arms out, whatever, straightened out, shoulders protracted forwards, big winds. Cover as much circumference as possible with the ball in the winds. Look at Anita Vladarchik. She is a great example, the women's world record holder. She has very big, flat winds, and that is very similar to her orbit within the turns, and that's why she is so consistent at such a high level. And that's one mistake that I think a lot of people make. So like I said, extend your hands out, reach your hands out. As you can see, they're very tight to the body, even as you step up. Of course, they have to kind of come close to the body. You go back over your head, that's fine. Good job turning your shoulders back. That right elbow kind of comes down, though. You can see you're kind of pulling the ball down. So you can see with these shorter winds, with your arms tightened up to your body, you don't really extend and reach out and connect with the hammer until, there's still another wind. Oh, my bad. Right elbow kind of pulls down. Second wind. All right, forget everything I just said. Okay, solid here. Right shoulder or shoulders turning back to the right. I'd say maybe turn your head back a little bit too. That might make it easier. But you see that right elbow still kind of pulling down. Solid. So you see this really shift backwards. That's really good. That's part of the pendulum system. Good job there, shifting back. I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't understand. And if you have it, you have it. If you don't, it's really hard to learn. That's part of the reason why you get the ball moving so well. Pretty solid entry. Like I said, this right foot does a little unnecessary shifting. As you can see, as the ball goes through zero, you're on your heels. Your right heel, and then you can see you turning on your right heel. And then you eventually get to your toe. Kind of like a Reese Hoffa sort of shot put sort of thing. But try to just be on that ball of the foot the whole time. I mean, you don't need to be like up on it. Your foot can be flat, but like when you go to turn, just make sure you're on that ball of the foot and you're turning with it. You're not on the heel turning with it. That'll help. You're doing a good job waiting for the ball to pass. Your chest is just a little bit forward. You can see your hips are sitting back. I generally am not a fan of the sit back cue because it does push the hips back and the chest can come forwards. But you do a pretty good job. I think what I like to think about is shoulders back. But like I said, I think you do a good job. You're turning with the ball. Super good positions here. Turning with the ball. Ball looks like it gets nice and long out left. Right leg turning with the left leg. Like I said, just got to get that ball at the foot a little earlier, and I think it'll be just that much more efficient. You see a little left foot flopping here, just a little bit ahead of it. All right, that's where that lack of right foot action kind of comes in. But you're stretching out to the sector nice and long. And see, so this is where that hips back kind of posture comes to bite you, is when you need to go step. You have all this extra movement to get those hips forwards into the ball and the catch, and that's what's going to kind of cause you to catch just a little bit late. As you can see, the ball is also very high on this right side, or left side, sorry, your left side, camera view right side. So the ball kind of comes crashing down on you over here. You can see this isn't quite a back view, so you're not at zero, but you can see you're a little bit heavy on this right side. Hands are down on this right side. Our hips are turned ahead of the ball. Try to keep your hips square to the ball. Keep your hands up, chest up, and hips forwards. So then you come through a little heavy on the right side, and this left side's going to have to be pretty strong to kind of dig yourself out of that. And you can see kind of same thing. You come down kind of flat-footed. Once again, kind of maybe try to aim for the ball of the foot. Once again, that's my personal preference. I prefer people to land on the ball of the foot. I think a lot of the best throwers land on the ball of their foot, and occasionally there's somebody that lands on the heel. But there are always exceptions to the rule. So, yeah, like I said, hands a little down here, pushing through. Finally get to that ball of the right foot, start turning with the ball. You can see this left side, this left leg taking off. This ball comes through about 45. Your right leg's with the ball, which is good, but this left leg's just a little bit ahead, not quite with it. A little separation. Once again, solid positions. Now you can see your hips starting to get more underneath you, and then your hips get more towards the ball, and then your hips going to be more underneath you on the catch. So you catch a little bit earlier. Still a little heavy on that right side though, because you can't just fix that from one turn to the other. An object in motion will stay in motion. It's whatever that law of thermodynamics or physics or something. I don't know exactly. And so if you're already heavy on the right side, you're going to be heavy on the right side pretty much throughout the entire throw, unless you do some crazy wild stuff to pull yourself out of it. Well, once again, as you come down, decent posture, turning with the ball. Let's see, you come down, still kind of flat-footed, but now you're up on the ball. You see, so this is right here. That ball of the right foot starts turning, and that's kind of what really makes this ball take off into this final turn. Your left side, yes, still a little bit ahead. Left shoulder, you can see your shoulders aren't quite level. That left shoulder is a little bit higher. That's a sign that the left side's doing a little bit more than it needs to. It's very subtle, but same thing. Picking up a little bit earlier here compared to the previous turns, but that's kind of in preparation for the final. Nice, solid high point. Now this is, once again, you can see your hips really getting through here now. So this is what I'm talking about, your hips or forwards towards the ball. Excuse me. And then you're going to come in and catch. Interesting. So as you can see, your right foot, like I said, picks up at about 45, picks up early. And people think the earlier you pick up, the earlier you're going to catch, and usually it's the opposite. The earlier you pick up, the later you catch. It's this weird paradox in the hammer. I don't get it. I don't get it entirely. I don't know how to explain it yet, but I'm figuring it out, and I just know that if you pick this right foot up too early, it's generally not the best thing. But you can see the ball also rises very steep here. Hands are above your head. Not the best thing. If this angle between your arms and your torso kind of gets greater than 90 degrees, you're really playing with fire. So try to keep your orbit a little bit flatter earlier on. So like your orbit in your second turn, even same thing, you can see there's a little bit of lift in the hands. So try to relax your hands. Don't lift the ball, let the orbit develop itself. Your hands kind of get high, not quite as high as they do in this final turn though. Really up there, really up there. And then you kind of get pulled. So since you do pick up this right leg earlier, you kind of get pulled around this left side, spinning your wheels a little bit, and that's kind of why you catch late, at least relative to the ball position. Like your foot is in the right position, but the ball, if it was just like 30 to 45 degrees back towards 270, that'd be really good. And then you kind of come through and finish really nice. You look nice and strong and powerful. Like I said, you just got to smooth things out a little bit, and like I said, try to make this more stable, make these winds and everything a little bit easier, more stable, more efficient. You have a lot of power. You just got to be able to guide it in the right directions, and I think you understand the concepts of the hammer throw, the language of the hammer, if you will. You understand this whole sit back concept, and I think that's why, like I said, your throw is pretty nice. That's just minor things that contribute to some inefficiency, and that's where you're going to make your gains. Fix those things. So like I said, this hips back right here, that's the big thing. Don't lift your hands up. Don't create orbit, and then just keep trying to get this right foot working and turning with the ball and turn your lower body together, and then don't let the ball rise too much. So, yeah. There you go, Bree. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm here to help. Janae, same thing for you. Let me know if you have any questions. So yeah, thanks for watching. Jordahl, peace and out.